So very good morning to all of you. Today in this session I would like to explain you about how to prepare a plan of two-story residential building from given line diagram and schedule of openings. So first we want to know what is two-story residential building. So basically we know what is a single-story residential building, which consists of only single floor and roof. So in case of a two-story residential building, we will going to build a building, or we will going to construct a floor over another floor. So it is defined as two-story residential building. Normally the height of a two-story residential building varies from 6.5 meter to 7.5 meter. It depends on floor to roof height. Sometimes we use more height and sometimes we use less. So based on this, the variation will be from 6.5 to 7.5 meter. So this is the basic difference between single-story residential building and two-story residential building. If you construct two-story residential building, so it may be a duplex type, or sometime we will construct stories independently. That means we can use for several ways. Means single user can use a building. The whole floor can be used by a single user. So those type of buildings can be defined as duplex. So usually we will provide staircase at inside of the building. In case of independent floors, we provide staircase at outside of the building. So this is the basic difference between duplex and independent floors. Okay, fine. So this is very important. Why? Because before preparing plan, this is the examination point of view. This is very important. While preparing plan, we must plan ourselves and we must be very cautious about few things. So before starting the plan, you must carefully visualize the line diagram which is given in the question paper. Check the dimensions of the given single line diagram. So why? Because sometimes they miss out some dimensions. There may be some misappropriation. So if you add all the dimensions, it may not reach the total dimension. So therefore you please check out the dimension which is given in the line diagram and check the wall thickness. Sometime it may be double brick thick wall, or sometime we use single brick thick wall. Double brick thick wall, nothing but load bearing walls, and partition walls are classified as single thick brick wall. And we have to see the foundation details which is given. Sometime they may provide common foundation detail. That means sometime we get two types of foundation. One will be for two brick thick wall and another will be for single brick thick wall. So if it is not mentioned, then we will going to use the same foundation for all types of walls irrespective of its thickness. And they mention about the cross section line. It may be along XX or it may be along YY. If it is not mentioned, please take a cross section line which is easier to you and it can be finished very earlier. And you have to check the schedule of openings. Schedule of openings consists of number of doors and naming of doors, dimensions of doors, windows, ventilators, exhaust fans, wardrobes, etc. But anyhow, in schedule of openings, they provide only doors, windows and ventilators. You please check the type of door, type of window and ventilator, sizes of doors, windows and ventilator. Based on that, you have to incorporate the details on plan. While preparing the plan or elevation or section, you must be very cautious what or which scale they have asked about. That means they may ask about you have to prepare a plan to a scale of 1:50, or sometimes they may ask to prepare the drawing for 1:100 or 1:150. So it depends on the question paper setter. If it is not mentioned, for 2-story residential building you prepare for 1:100. Otherwise, if it is mentioned, you have to prepare according to the scale given. And if any data is missing in the question paper, you please assume suitably. So these are the important things we have to look over. Right. So these are the following things to be known before start to draw plan of residential building. Line diagram which has clear dimensions of all rooms and type of rooms. So these are the important things we have to visualize in the line diagram. You please look over the line diagram. All the dimensions must be written very neatly. So if any data is missing or any dimension is missing, please appropriately you have to assume it based on the given dimension. And second one is width of doors, windows and ventilators. If a schedule of openings are not provided, you please consider the width of door, windows and ventilators suitably based on its size of rooms or size of hall. And third one, width of chajja. If the width of chajja is not given, assume it as 600 mm. Thickness of wall. There are two types of walls. One will be load bearing wall, that is defined as double brick thick wall. If it is partition wall, then consider as single brick thick wall. So usually we will consider for double brick thick wall, the variation will be from 230 mm to 300 mm. A partition wall will be from 120 mm. So these are some of the important things we have to memorize. And I have written a simple procedure to prepare a plan of a two-story residential building or plan to any building. First one is observe the given line diagram. So the line diagram is given in the question paper. You please observe all the data which are incorporated in the line diagram. First, on the drawing sheet, that means A1 sheet, you fix it on the board, and there on the right top corner you have to indicate north direction at the top, and you must write all the dimensions to the scale which is given. Decide the thickness of wall. It may be load bearing wall or sometime it may be partition wall. Prepare door schedules and window schedules. After preparing plan, you must prepare these door schedules and window schedules, and it includes ventilators also. The structures which are below sea level are visible are drawn with the help of dark lines. We here in plan, our plan elevation or section elevation, we get three types of lines. One will be dark line, a second will be a thin line, and third one is a dotted line. Dark lines are used to indicate the structures which are below sea level and which are visible, and the structures which are above sea level and which are not visible, those are written with the help of dotted lines. And if you want to indicate any dimensions of rooms, then we will use a thin line with arrows at both ends. A projection lines are drawn with the help of thin lines. Why? Because if you want to prepare any elevation or cross section, we will use a plan as a reference diagram. From that we will going to draw projection lines. Later on we have to erase it, so therefore we will going to use a very thin line to project the lines. And on the plan or in the plan, we have to indicate the movement of doors with the help of arrow mark. We have to indicate that on the plan. So these are the important things, and these are the procedures we follow while preparing a plan. So this is an example I have created. You can read it out very easily. So this is for a two-story residential building, and I have planned for duplex. That means this is for single user. So staircase will be provided inside of the building, and the whole building will be used by one family. The line diagram shown in figure 1, I will show you the figure in the next slides, otherwise you can see here. So this is a line diagram I have prepared in examination. In 4 hours you could not able to answer these two-story residential building. So most probably in exam they may ask to prepare plan, elevation and section elevation for single-story residential building and other types of buildings. So it will be little bit complicated because it is time consuming. You have to prepare 2 plans and 2-story elevation and 2-story cross-section elevation. Anyhow, as this in your syllabus we have to learn, and it is most important compared to other types of buildings. So you please learn this, how to prepare plan, elevation and sectional elevation. So here this is a model question, how they may ask. So here you have to concentrate on this. The line diagram shown in figure 1 for a proposed 2-story residential building with clear dimensions, draw to a scale of 1:50 for the following views. They ask 3 types of views. One will be plan at sill level, second one is front elevation and section elevation along AA. These views carries 50 marks. Plan will be for 20, front elevation will be for 10 marks, section elevation along AA for 20 marks. Totally it will be 50 marks. Here the construction details and specifications are very important. So these things will be incorporated in cross-sectional details, but while preparing plan you have to look over a few points. So I will going to highlight here. First one is we have to look over this line diagram, and we have to have keen observation about thickness of wall which is given, and third one is schedule of openings of doors, windows and ventilators, and fourth one is very important, that is width of chajja. By seeing these detail, this is sufficient to draw a plan for 2-story residential building or any plan or any building. Right, you can observe here. So these are some of the construction details they have given, but to prepare plan these construction details are not necessary. So to prepare plan, first one is line diagram, second one is schedule of openings, and thickness of wall is very important, and the fourth one is width of chajja. You can read out this RCC chajja of 600 mm wide, 150 mm thick at support and 50 mm at the free end. Anyhow, these 150 and 50 will be written while writing elevation or cross-sectional elevation, but 600 mm width will be indicated in plan. So this is important, and remaining things can be read afterwards. Right. So this is a line diagram. You can visualize very carefully. So this is a ground floor line diagram, and this is a first floor line diagram. I have prepared this to a scale of 1:100, and even I have written north direction at the top right corner. So you can see here. So this is a port area, or you can say this is a parking area. This plot measuring 30 feet along x direction and 40 feet along y direction. So you can say this is 9 meter and this is about 12 meter. So it consists of a porch area at the ground floor, and there is a veranda. From here it has an accessibility to drawing or living area, or you can say this is hall, and from this end we have a toilet at this corner, and kitchen is there. Beside to that, dining hall is provided. It has a passage of 1.5 meter in this in between room and kitchen, and we have an accessibility to the rear end, and these are for room dimension 3 into 3 meter. So here you can visualize the different types of compartments or rooms and the respective dimensions. So we can say this is a clear dimension excluding thickness of wall. So usually in examination they may give, or normally this plot size is not restricted. So they provide line diagram and they mention about clear dimensions of rooms, and they indicate about thickness of wall by it will be very simple, not complicated like this. In actual practice we use or we will bound to this layout, and within this layout we have to draw a plan, or we have to prepare by using AutoCAD or with the help of other softwares or 3D softwares. So this is a first floor plan. So I have mentioned about this is a duplex staircase is provided inside the building, and accessibility from ground floor to first floor is like this. So these moves like this. We can climb the staircase from this direction, and this is at a height of 0.6 meter. So this is elevation at ground floor, and this is elevation at first floor 3.75 meter. And you can see the dimensions and different types of rooms I have indicated. So this is very important, and positioning of windows and doors we have to see, and elevations of different rooms. So we have to visualize, and we have to carefully we have to incorporate. So this is a line diagram they are given, right? First one is we have to have a keen observation or line diagram, and we have to see the schedule of openings. So after this, after seeing this, we have to prepare scale. Normally for two-story residential building we can't accommodate whole thing in a single sheet or A1 size sheet. So therefore usually we draw to a scale 1:100, but as a practice, and it will be very easy to visualize to the students. So that's the main reason I have prepared this drawing for 1:50. So I took this as 1:50 just because to increase the size of the diagram or plan. So here 1 centimeter on the paper is equivalent to 50 centimeter measured on the ground. So that is it can be written as 1 centimeter is equal to 0.5 meter, 50 centimeter nothing but 0.5 meter. Therefore the scale will be 2 centimeter on the scale. It is equivalent to 1 meter which is measured on the ground. So therefore I am doubling the size, or nothing but I am increasing it by 2 times. So therefore now to increase the size, so we go for a lesser scale, that is 1:50. So this is about scale. Otherwise very simple, we will going to use paper scales. Already they have prepared standard scales of 1:50, 1:100, 1:150, so on. So we can use the paper scales and we can draw the plan, elevation or sectional elevation. So this is about staircase calculation. Why? Because we have to show these details of staircase which is given inside the building. So here I have adopted particulars for tread, riser, flight, landing. I hope these things are known to you as you study construction technology, and you will going to study about staircase. There you will going to come across these words or technical terms of staircase. So tread is nothing but the steps, or we will going to keep our foot there. So that is defined as a tread, that is a horizontal member of a step. So we will going to assume that as 25 centimeter, nothing but 0.25 meter. Height of riser, nothing but the vertical distance between two treads or steps. We will going to call it as riser, that is about 0.15 meter. So we have ranges for this, but anyhow I have adopted these dimensions, standard dimensions. Width of flight is considered as 0.9 meter or 3 feet. Width of landing is equal to width of flight, so therefore it is 0.9 meter or 3 feet. Number of risers for whole staircase. So if you want to calculate this, here I have adopted open wheel staircase. If you provide dog-legged staircase, the calculation will be different. We will going to divide the whole height as 2 times. So we will going to calculate, or we will going to design a flight, and it will be equivalent to another one. So here if you want to calculate number of risers for whole staircase, total floor height is considered, that is 3.15 meter from ground floor to first floor. So if you divide it by height of riser, you will get 21 risers. So total number of threads, it will be number of risers minus 1, that will be 21. Minus 1 is equal to 20. If you have 21 risers, it will be that means in a steps or staircase you will get less 1 by number of risers, that will be 20 threads. So this is important. Why? Because I have to show 20 number of steps in plan which is already prepared, and I have made a video of explaining how to prepare this plan of ground floor. So you can see that and you can practice, so you can learn this how to prepare plan of a two-story residential building with reference to line diagram and schedules of openings. You can see this. I have prepared a ground floor plan as per line diagram and schedule of openings and the details given. So here I am showing this staircase. I have accommodated 20 number of threads or 20 number of steps. So that calculation has been given here. So this is very simple and very interesting thing to draw this, so you can practice. So this is the first floor plan which is already prepared, and I have explained how to prepare this in another video. You can visualize that also, you can see that. So this is about this session. So I hope this is understood. I hope you people can practice this, and thank you all.